Welcome again to Faster Content. This is going to be a quick blog on using the Google PageSpeed Insights tool. This is available at the address above here. Of course, if you just Google for Google PageSpeed Insights, you'll find this link, and I'll also put it in the video description. This is a great tool just to analyze and get recommendations for what you can do as a web developer or a marketing team to make your site experience faster and more mobile compliant. So I'm going to put in a few URLs so you can see what the output of this tool is. I will use a culprit of CNN as a test. So I'll type in CNN as the URL I want to analyze. It will take a few seconds to load, maybe 10-15, depending on the size of the page that it's crunching. It may take a little while longer or based on your bandwidth. While this is loading, you may also want to know that there's also an API available for running PageSpeed Insights, so your development team can create different types of applications to automate this and get insights on a more regular basis. Or you can work with your marketing team as well if you guys are working with any partners to tap into the API and run more trended analysis on how you're improving the overall experience and speed of different types of pages on your website. So we're 95% of the way through, and wow, here we go. So this is a score scale between 0 and 100, and 100 being the best. So if you're 100 out of 100, you are amazing. You have really proven to Google and users that you are committed to a very fast page speed experience on your website. Highly unlikely you'll get that. I would say that if you were in the 90s, you should be proud. I'll credit this to Matt Keys, who developed a WordPress PageSpeed application. I like using his kind of scale that anything above 90s, 90 you should be proud of. Anything in the 80s is good. Anything below that is, something you can work on. If you're in the 70s, it's probably fair. Probably where a lot of sites in the web who are doing pretty well or are right now, in fact, are probably in the 70s. But you really should be thinking about making improvements if you're anywhere in or below that range. So the first thing you'll see here are tabs for mobile and desktop. So this is based on mobile scores. Again, this is pretty poor if it's in the red. It means it's very poor according to Google, and it starts to prioritize things that you should fix, like eliminate render blocking JavaScript and CSS above the fold. So eliminating code that, unless it's absolutely necessary to improve the above the fold content displayed, that you streamline that. As well as leverage browser caching are the top two things that are going to improve the mobile page speed experience. And then it'll list a number of other things that you should consider to fix. And it actually gives recommendations on specifically what you should compress, for example, here, and how much that's actually going to reduce the wait time. If you scroll to the bottom on the mobile tab, you'll actually see that this is actually receiving a very good user experience score for the mobile user, 99 out of 100. So as you can see, kudos CNN. It has text and buttons and responsive design, or a experience that is conducive to the mobile device and the viewport. So that looks good. Now if we move over to desktop, there's an error that occurred here. There may be an issue, but again, very similar scores would show up here for your site that would be similar to the mobile. And just to show that, I'll run a different site. And so this is a site that I was curious who is actually doing really well with the page speed scores. And this site, freecodecamp.com, posted a page that has really solid scores, and so you can see how they've done here. They have an 89 out of 100, 100 out of 100 on the mobile user experience, and then desktop 100 of 100. They are compliant with all of the recommendations that Google would suggest to make your page very fast. Of course, if we look at this page, it's not the most functional or dynamic page on the web. And so this is where PageSpeed is always at the mercy of functionality and content that is going to provide value to the user. So again, this is a great tool to try to improve your scores, and based on the functionality your page is delivering, you're going to have to weigh some things you can and cannot do, but there should be some very simple things that the web team can work on to improve those scores, and would